Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting installment of listening to me blabbering on about stuff. So today I'm going to talk about the spiderweb design. Now there's so many different names for this. The spiderweb design is the most obvious what it is. So there's actually a lot of examples of what this is. So you can look at Moscow, you can look at the inner areas of Amsterdam. There's so many in older style European cities. So the design is really everywhere, but I don't really usually do it, even though I really love the design. So if you watched the last episode, this is something that you might have seen a little bit, just really quickly, and you can see that it has the very rough looking design of a spider web. So it's actually it's a very unique design. I really enjoy it because if you're doing a town, it just makes an easy ring all the way around. So if you look at Moscow, Moscow has rings all the way around, and it just helps with traffic, helps with designing public transport. You can make this area like a big roundabout or a big park. Usually the inner areas here wouldn't be just like this one big intersection, but for this area I just wanted to do something a little bit different. But yeah, that's what the design is. And so for the rest of the video I want to design maybe one or two other little spiderweb towns in this area over here. So just in case you're not sure where we are, here's the city over here, and then so we're over here in this nice big valley. And I just really love this design because you can keep adding on, but even if you suddenly stop, it doesn't look weird. Like for example, if we go over to here, you see how everything is straight and you just stop, it kind of looks a little bit odd, right? But if you have here, it's like you got the curved designs, it just looks nice that there's nothing else there, so you can easily just add on if you want. It's just a really good design for like smaller towns and things like that, but I'm blabbering on. But if we just zoom in, so most of this area is all commercial space, and then this area here is a big industrial area. So it's really all connected. There's not much residential in this area, and if I just show you guys, there's a really big demand for residential in the whole city. Not really for industrial, but you can see like there's not enough buyers for products. So we do need to expand. So for example, with this city here, you can easily just continue on a road around like this, continuing on with the spider web. So you can easily just build on and on and on. And I love it. I just think it's really cool. It's very unique. So if you guys actually use this type of design, or you do like a more grid style? I guess this one is kind of grid like, but it's also a little bit more unique as well, which is kind of fun. So I was thinking we might do one here, because if we look at the shape, I think it's a perfect design to do a little one. So this will be like the town center here, and then we can just build out and out and out. And this valley here, I'll probably do another one here, but in between each little town, I want to do like groups of trees, so forests. I want to do different farmlands throughout it, and maybe a little bit of other industrial areas. We can maybe do another little town here or one here. So eventually, this whole area is going to look like scattered little villages everywhere with lots of farmlands. So that's pretty cool, and I love mentioning different designs to you guys, just so like you have inspiration for different things. A lot of you guys do like when I talk about different designs. Let me just flatten this out first of all. Flat. I want to make it just a little bit higher because of the water right here. Before, the water was literally about to flow over into here, so I'm just trying to make it a bit more flat like that. So do any of you actually use the spiderweb design, or like what designs do you prefer to use? So obviously I'm sure a lot of you will use the grid, which I find is a little bit boring, but I mean I still do that a lot. But yeah, what design do you guys use a lot? So if you think about all of the benefits of this, you might be thinking, first of all, well Sam, why are you even mentioning this? It's just like another design. What makes this one different? Well, first of all, like I said earlier, it looks good. It looks very natural and free-flowing, because it looks like when you keep adding another layer to the spiderweb design, it just looks very natural. It looks like it's actually growing, and it just looks like it's supposed to be there. But besides that, it really helps with the traffic flow. So a lot of the time, so when you look at a spider web, you can see that there's these circles, like the inner circles, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. So if you have a lot of traffic that only wants to stay in the inner areas, they really have that easy option of using those inner roads. And then for each level, or each layer I should say, they have that option to just go from one side of the city to the other while staying in that area of the neighborhood, if that makes sense. So if they want to stay in the outer regions, they have that outer road that goes all the way around the edge of the city. And then you have the easy roads that connect the outer rings with the inner rings really easily. And then on each corner of those big intersections, a lot of the time you'll find a lot of little clusters of shops and maybe upper class buildings, or not upper class always, but just larger style residential buildings. And then it really just makes it a lot easier for designing your public transport. So you can easily do inner bus loops, and then you can do another bus loop that goes on the next ring, another bus loop on the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And then you can do bus lines that go directly in and directly out between all of the lanes. So if that kind of makes sense, I think if you play around with it, you'll kind of get what I'm talking about, and you can see the benefits. A lot of the time if you just Google it, they'll mention a lot about Greenery. So the original design was supposed to somehow help with connecting up Greenery. So within each, I guess you'd call it a block, even though it's not really a block shape, but within each block of the Spiderweb, they would try to implement every single type of zoning and park that you would need. So for each block, they would have basically everything, so you didn't have to really go too far to travel. And usually the Spiderweb designs, they're not that big in general. They are mostly found in like smaller towns or like really old style villages. So a lot of the time, all of this stuff that you need is within each Spiderweb block. And I know it sounds so funny, but that's just like how it usually is. And if you go back to my Amsterdam video, there's a really great example in there. You can just see how the Spiderweb design developed, and even though that one was kind of more planned, but they still incorporated it. I'm sure they didn't reference it as like a Spiderweb design, but I still think it's a really cool option to have. So as I design this along, you can kind of see how it's starting to develop in a more natural looking way. And then once you get to the outer areas of the Spiderweb design, it makes it really easy to just stop. And I know I mentioned this earlier because a lot of people will ask me in the comments, how do I stop the urban sprawl in a city? How do I just stop it? And doing this design is really just an easy way to stop it because of the curves. But a lot of the time, what else I'll say if you want to stop urban sprawl is you might want to put in some kind of terrain, or you might want to put in water or a really thick forest or something like that, or farmland, which is what I'm going to be doing in this whole area. So a lot of farmland using the Spiderweb design. And just out of curiosity, did anyone watch that, well, I don't even know what you'd call it, that build-off thing last night, what was it, Paradox Interactive? They were hosting like some build-off with some, what they say, I'm doing air quotes, really good City Skylines players. Some of them I had never even heard of, and I'm pretty well, like, I know a lot of them. And then there's several, like, I'd literally never heard of them. So did anyone watch it? Like, because I tuned in for the first little bit, and they were just talking. And then this morning I went back to Twitch and had a look, and I noticed it was 8 hours long. Like, really? Like, who's going to watch it for 8 hours long? And there's hardly any views, so I kind of feel bad. But did anyone watch it? What was it really about? Did they, like, I can't be bothered to go through it all. There was just too much chatter. And honestly, I'm a little salty that I wasn't included, but you know what, life goes on. Yeah, did anyone watch it? I didn't really watch it. No, not that I'm hating on them or anything. I just didn't have that time. Now you can see here with this one, I know it looks super weird, but trust me, once it's all filled in, they will look much better. But this one, I've been going for a more of a free design, so like you can still see I'm using a generic type Spiderweb design, but I'm trying to break it up a little bit just so it doesn't all look very repetitive. So there's this one over here, so I've tried to break it up a little bit with these roads here and putting this in, this one up here as well. Can probably continue this one up here as well to connect up there like that as a back road. So you got this one here, got some more straight roads. So I like how that's turning out. I probably shouldn't have done this one as big. Oh well. So they're going to be mostly residential, but for example, this one here will be a main road. So for each of these larger intersections, I would put just a little bit of shops on the corners, because that's usually how it goes. So you do it like that. Maybe you could do the whole street coming in. So this will be another main intersection along here. So you can fill, actually I'll just go like that, fill those in. And then along here is where I would do all of the commercial. So this is like the main area. Might put a park in there, I'm not sure yet. Maybe a little corner shop there. And then maybe up here you could put some small offices, just so it's not like there's, just don't really want residential on each corner. So up here maybe you can just do one little office and then one little corner store. But yeah, just trying to break it up. So yeah, there's no water, but what I'm trying to say is you don't want to just have like all of the commercial in one spot. It's okay to break it up, and if you're not sure where to put the commercial, just put it at each major intersection. So that's an easy rule, and it's very realistic for you to do it like that. Okay, and then just before I finish up this video, we need to put in all of the basic stuff. Look at this prison. I'm planning on doing a prison eventually, but look how big this one is, and it's very Russian style, isn't it? Love it. Looks good. So that is coming up soon. Demolish you. Okay, so first of all, let's put in a clinic. Do I have a smaller clinic? I have this one, so I can put you there. So that'll probably be good for those ones. I might put a little one up here. I might put the generic one actually. Put you right there, and then we'll put the what's this called again? Cemetery. Put in the cemetery because obviously it's a smaller town, so they would have a cemetery anyway. So there's one over here, there's one there. Is there a clinic in here? Where is it? This one. Oh, there's actually a couple. That is good. Okay, fire. Oh, fire is not good at all. So we have this one here. I might also extend little industrial areas around this whole area too. Like for example, I might just put a few like along the roads or just on like the corners of the edges of the little towns, just so they have something nearby instead of doing one big industrial area. So anyway, back to this. I can maybe put one on the corner. So this one is a very old style, so we can put that one there like that, and then we might do the same one down over there. Okay, police. I love using these little police stations, they're pretty cool. So that one's good because it has some greenery on it. So we'll put this one here because it's even smaller. How about over here? Over here we have one, so that's good. And then maybe we can do a high school over here, which we have. Okay, so there's one high school there, and then over here we'll just do some primary schools. So maybe we'll just do one primary school here because that's kind of in the middle of these three areas. And who knows, maybe I'll put a little town over here. I think I will, just in like this little corner as well. So let's see, do I have a larger primary school? Do I? This one is larger, I think. This is private. It says private, but whatever. So I guess I feel like here is good. Is it? Yes, it is. I love the dirt road. It just looks so cool. And then we can also maybe we can put in some stuff for them, for the kids. So for example, okay, not that. I'm looking for the field. Also, I have this building here. This is from Russia. I'm just gonna put it here and show you guys. Stave Church. I've seen this before. Isn't this the one that's made out of completely wood? There's no nails or metal or anything, so that's cool. Anyway, back over to here. Where is the, like a big field? I want a big field. Okay, here we go. That's too big. This is the mini one, isn't it? Yeah, we don't want the mini one. Ugh, then we have all of these. Excuse me. Nope, nothing there. Aha, here we go. High school. That's not really a high school, but it doesn't matter. So this is a soccer field, so that's good. I like that. This, maybe we can, just to make it look a little bit more straight, put that there, move that into the corner, so there's not like an awkward space. Move this over a little bit. Actually, we might bring that up a little bit. There we go. That's good. Let's put a fence. Can we use one of the new fences? Which is a farm fence, or fence, oil fence. Well, that one looks horrible. Let's use this one, the new farm fence. I love the fences. They're just so good. So go like that. Nice big yard for them. Sound like they're chickens or something. Big yard, so they can run around. But they're farm kids, so who knows? They'll probably just jump over the fence anyway. I might add in some details on that later. add in some details later. And just in case you think this is weird that there's a cemetery next to the school, next to my primary school, there was a crematorium. So this is nothing for me, nothing at all, does not worry me. Okay, that is good. So I'll put a little bus network from here over to here, and then so these guys can go over here, or they can go over to here as well. And then if they want the high school, they can just go over to here. Actually, what is the capacity of the high school? 762. That's okay. And public transport I can do another time. So yeah, I think the only thing now is just some water. And someone said to me, do you want to get the mod that removes the dependency of putting pipelines and power lines? And I replied no, because I actually like doing it. I like putting it down. It makes that level of realism, which is what I like. And I think that is pretty much it. So in the upcoming videos, episodes, whatever you want to call it, there'll be a little bit of farmland. I might actually leave some of these trees in the middle just to break it up. Also, I want to do something up here as well. We have this huge block of land which I bought for whatever reason, I don't remember. But there's a lot of space up here to build, so we can do a lot of hill suburbs, or like we can do a town up here, I suppose. They have a really good view, maybe a fancy one, maybe, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Something up here. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys. So I'm just going to update this with all of the residential, commercial, industrial, and that'll be it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye guys.